Hi guys, welcome to a trick that's called one card, one choice. The one card part is here in this envelope. In here I've got a prediction card. One card I can't change. I'm going to leave that in full view. The one choice comes from here, a deck of normal playing cards. Now they have been shuffled, we can cut them as well, and in fact we can show you these that they are regular and have been shuffled in a random order, but it doesn't make any difference because you're going to choose the card from the pack. Now most people would deal cards like this. I prefer you to actually see the cards so you get an absolute free choice. You'll see that as we deal the cards, I want you to call out stop at any point. This gives you an absolute free choice. Just shout out stop there. Are you sure? You want to stop here on the Jack of Diamonds, an absolute free choice. You could have had any of these cards, you could have had any of these. Remember, this has been here all along. Your card, the Jack of Diamonds. Now I want you to see this clearly. I don't know whether the camera can see this. Let's see if I can get the angle right. But in this envelope is just one card. Now I'm just going to reach in and pull out the one card, and I want to do this at fingertips. Let me just tip that out, but I do want to show you the envelope is totally empty. Just look closely in there. There's nothing else in this envelope. It's just the one card which happens to match your chosen card. Matching your card with my card. So the secret to this trick is another great prediction trick. There's so many out there that you can choose from. I always say to you, pick one or two and stick with those throughout your career as a magician. Now, the pack itself is what's known as a Quran deck. Al-Quran invented a great forcing deck, and being magicians watching this, you're probably familiar with the name Quran and the deck that he invented. So let's cover this first of all. Now all you need, if we take a closer look at this pack, now the top part up to here are just regular cards. In fact, let me get those on camera. So these cards are just regular cards. Now if we look closely at these ones, you'll begin to see a pattern emerging. You'll see I've got an ace of clubs here. That's one of my false cards. Then you have a normal card. Then I've got the 5 of diamonds, which is my second false card. Then any card, then the 9 of spades, any card, and then the Jack of Diamonds. Now those 4 cards are my 4 false cards. My spectator is going to choose one of those. Ace, 5, 9 and Jack. These can be anything. Then if you look, it's repeated. We have an ordinary card, then we have another ace of clubs. Ordinary, 5 of diamonds, ordinary, 9, ordinary and Jack. Now normally that's as far as I would go. I would repeat those just twice, but you can actually repeat it again. I have got those repeated here a 3rd time. That means that the spectator's got to choose a card within about 20 cards, which as a good magician you can time that just right. So there it is there. So that's all you need to force those cards. Now, what makes the Quran deck so clever is when you spread the cards, because there's a big gap between this ace and the duplicate, most people wouldn't notice that. Now, magicians may pick up on it, but the layperson wouldn't. And this particular deck has been used for many, many years. Let me show you the principle behind it. So the regular cards go on top. You deal the cards face up and you start talking about you can choose any card you like, just call stop. Now at this point I finish my sentence as I start to get to my false cards. There's the first one. Now I'm hoping that they'll say stop pretty soon after that, because I've dealt quite a few cards, and most people do call stop almost immediately. Okay, you might get a few awkward people that want you to deal a lot more. Now this is the deal, if they stop here, I know that that card is a false card. If they said stop, we would use that one. They can see they had a choice of that or even this one. If, however, you deal this and they call stop, you then take the next card, because you know that was a false card, ordinary, this is going to be the other false card, and you can actually put that to one side and say you've got the Jack of Diamonds. Now it doesn't matter if you carry on, because they would have forgotten that they've already seen an ace. Remember, it's different when you're watching video, because you can look at it a couple of times and watch it in slow motion, so you pick up on things like that. But in the real world, when you're presenting, people are expecting to see duplicate cards. Now what happens if they choose this particular card, the Ace of Clubs? So remember, they had a choice of 4. The rest of the cards can be put to one side. Now the envelope is the faked envelope, because there's 4 choices in here. Now this is the clever thing. If I open this up, and I'm going to open this envelope up so you can actually see there is just 1 card in here. Look at that. But the beauty of it, if I drop that, they can put their finger in there. There is absolutely nothing else hidden in there. It's a great trick envelope. However, this card is double-faced. So you drop it out. Now what I tend to do is just take the regular card, scoop this up, have them like this, and just casually show them and say, look, I predicted the ace, and I've pushed that off with my thumb, and I time it so that my words actually make it appear that this is their card. This is my card. I say, we both chose cards. Your card was the ace, but in the envelope I had the ace as well. But of course this is the one that comes from there. It's a great illusion. At that point there's no need for them to check these. Now I know Tenyo are currently marketing a similar effect, and I can't believe that they would be using this. They might be doing a different method, but this to me has been around for years. I think I first learned this from Mark Leverage, but this is an envelope. You can either buy these, they're like pay envelopes. Try and get a coloured one because it just looks better. I'd like to use black. And let me show you how you make it. If you've got this envelope, all that you make, if I can pull this out. Now I've deliberately done this in a different colour. You get a piece of card or paper the same as this. You can cut up another envelope if you buy several of these. The trick with this is that this must fit very snug. It must be very tight to push in. And when it pushes in, it must line up exactly with the opening here. Okay. Now the beauty of this is that with that in there, when you push this down and squeeze the edges here, watch what happens. It's a beautiful seal. There's no gap there whatsoever. So you can put something in here, in this pocket. However, if I wanted to reveal the other pocket, if you lift this up and squeeze, you've then got another perfect seal here, and then you've got another pocket there. It's all about squeezing the sides. Now I will say the envelope you buy has to be of a thicker variety. Don't use the paper ones, that doesn't work. These particular ones, what I did buy some envelopes this size, but they were too thin. So I then bought a sheet of black card. I opened out the original envelope, traced around it, cut it out, glued it, so I made my own card envelopes on there. But as I said, once you've done this pocket, if we have a look in the second pocket, I've got the other prediction cards. So there I've got my 4 cards that I forced, and all I did here was just stick 2 cards back to back with some glue. When you put these in, remember where they are. In this top pocket with the flap opening this way, I put the ace up, the 5 down. In the second pocket, I put the 9 and the jack that way. I know which way round. That's all you got to do. So if they said they'd picked the 9 of spades, I would pick up my envelope, open it up like this. I'm squeezing it. They can see in there. I reach in, I pull out the 1 card, and I actually just tip it out and then show them. You can see it's a perfect illusion. Okay, this envelope can be used for other prediction effects as well. And that's all there is to it. 1 card, 1 choice.